Thank you, Spons. Man, I don't even know where to start. With 31 years sober, where do you start? You know what I'm saying? How do you squash it into 10 minutes? I just give you a little something. I'll qualify first, right? Grew up in Highland Park. Dad was a Green Beret soldier. Mom was whatever he said she was. If you were raised by the hand, you know how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get any freaking timeouts. You know what I mean? And when you were caught doing something, you were going to get taught how to do it correctly. They would throw these poker parties. They would tell me and my brothers, go get me a drink. And we'd hit that Coors can that had the tab on the top. You know that sound. We'd take a sip, hand them the beer. And then Pops, like he had eyes behind his head. And he was like, haha. He's that cat that don't say nothing in front of his friends until they leave. Then the devil pops out. You know what I'm saying? If you know what, wait till your father gets home, we live that shit. You know what I mean? Well, he sat me and my brothers down at the table and he grabbed this ceramic jug. It had a wax lid. They called it white lightning. I don't know what a white lightning is. Found out that night. You know what I'm saying? Poured 3 cups and said, don't get off that table till them cups are empty. So you could imagine my first real drink. It's like getting a blowtorch and blowing it down my throat because it burned so bad. But the miracle that night was the beating that followed. I didn't feel shit. You know what I'm saying? So as a little kid, my brain wasn't wired right. They had that little miniature bottle collection. I thought they were made for kids. You know what I'm saying? So in elementary, I took one of them to school and I got caught in class. And back then, when they called your parents, they didn't have, beam me up, Scotty. They had this, right? Oh, my God. They would beat you in front of the teachers. I'm just saying. I knew I had problems. You know what I'm saying? I did my drugs alcoholically also. You know, and I had a little problem. You know what I mean? And I figured if I got into college, things would change. So I applied for Penn State College. Somewhere they messed up on the application. Sent me to the state pen. And from an E number to an N number. You know what I'm saying? And I got out with no hope. You know what I mean? Standing in that closet with a 38 talking about time to check out because the pain gets that bad. The misery, the shame. Looking in the mirror, hating what you see, wishing it was dead. You know, and I made this prayer to this thing I didn't believe in, and I said, big homie, if you're up there, either I'm coming to see you or you're coming down here to help me in my life. And I felt this peace, you know what I mean? I never felt in my life. And I ended up in a place in Sun Valley called People in Progress. Right, Tom? I got dropped off, it was March 5th of 95, and I was told, no matter what happens, don't ever leave this place. And since then, I've not left this place. Now, I only came to get off the shit. Really. None of this was supposed to happen. None of it. I just wanted to get off the shit so I could make some real money, and that's not what happened. You know, I heard some things, and I heard some truths, and I was living by a lot of false hatreds and prides, and you know what I mean? Thank God for a good sponsor. He's been my sponsor for 30 of my 31 years. You know what I mean? And he's had to teach me a lot of lessons. You know what I mean? Like, I'd go to meetings, and I was just sharing this with a brother, and I'd stare at people. Why is he looking at me? And Danny would tell me, maybe he just wants to be your friend. You know what I mean? And then he would go outside, and we'd be outside, and he'd be looking up in the sky. I'm like, Danny, what are you looking at? He goes, I'm looking for gun towers. Because you're still locked up. You're still locked up. And I had to learn to release myself. And that's just one of many, many, many things that he's taught me in this world. Man, we're like those monkeys in a barrel. Not kidding. I'm holding on to my sponsor and I'm bringing up a sponsee. That's how I look at this program. We're like those monkeys in a barrel. You know, I found out, it's only 10 minutes. I got to give you some cool shit to make you laugh. These things last like 6 months now. You know what I mean? They last 6 months. And today it's a key and not a screwdriver. You know what I'm saying? The next time you're at a Starbucks, you want to know the difference between an alcoholic and an addict? Watch how they handle their sugar pack. I'm not kidding. An alcoholic goes like this. An addict goes, what the fuck is in that pack? Oh, God, I don't have much time. Tom, we've come a long way, brother. Long way. And I'll tell you this one story, and it's how I really view the program, and it was listened to by an old-timer when I was in prison. And they had these panels that would come in, and I would think, these guys are wasting their fucking time. You know what I mean? And they must not have lives. They're coming in here and talking to us like, what the hell, right? Or when you go to those meetings, you hear about that guy with 10 years. He's selling drugs. There's no way he's got 10 years. You know what I mean? When you're new, that's how your mind is thinking. You know what I mean? And here I'm that guy with 31 years, so there's probably a few of you going, bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So, well, it's AA, you know, whether you find it in AA, NACA, or fucking A, don't find it with the DA. You know what I'm saying? And I look at this as this story that I heard, and this is what made me understand the program. There's this alcoholic, and Bacardi 151 was my thing. You don't need soda, it takes up too much of the glass. You know what I'm saying? And we'll say he pounded some of that, or that White Lightning, that stuff made in the hills of Tennessee, right? And he's walking, he falls in this hole, and he's just drunk, and he starts screaming for help. Help! I need help! So this priest is walking by, and he hears him screaming. And he looks in the hole, and he says, oh, Father, you need to help me. I drank the 151, I'm stuck, I can't get out, I need help. So the priest sat down, he prayed with him, handed him a Bible, and he took off. And the guy's like, what the fuck? Hell! Starts screaming again, right? This rich man's walking by. Hears him screaming, looks in the hole. What's up, brother? Hey, I need help, man. I fell in this hole. I'm drunk. I can't get out. I'm stuck. I need help. The priest came. He prayed. He threw me a Bible, and he left. I need help. So the rich man reached in his pocket, threw him a wad of cash, and said, buy a ladder. Pew! That motherfucker was gone, right? He's still stuck. And he starts screaming again, help, I need help, man. One of us in AA is walking by, we see him, we stop. What's going on, brother? I need help, man. The priest came, he prayed, he threw me a Bible. The rich man came, threw me some money, and told me to buy a ladder. I'm drunk, I'm stuck, I can't get out. I need help. And what do you think we did? We jumped in with him. And he looked at us like, you fucking idiot. Now we're both stuck, right? But we looked this man in the face and we told him we've been in a place like this and we know there's a way out. And what that story taught me, that only we can help each other. Only we can help each other. We will follow you to the gates of hell if you're actually looking for help, and we'll show you to the light. If no one's told you they love you today, let me be the first. I love you and thank you for having me out.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Our Secretary Scott has a couple more things to say before we start the meeting back up.
While you're taking your seats, please notice, or if you would like, we have an email list that tells about our upcoming speakers, and in case the meeting gets moved, put off, anything like that, that'll give you some information right there. What else was I supposed to speak about? Besides speak louder, I apologize. What? Bagels. If there's any bagels, they'll be up on the left, so please feel free to take them home for you. They're from Manhattan Beach Bagel. They graciously donate them to us every Saturday. So thank you very much. There you go.
All right, guys, can we keep it down? We're about to start the meeting. My name's Keith. I'm an alcoholic. Welcome, everybody, and thank you guys all coming out to the Sanctuary Group at American Martyrs. Without further ado, with great appreciation and gratitude, I want to thank Danny T. for coming on out and being our speaker tonight.
My name's Danny. I'm an alcoholic. And I love DJ, by the way. It's funny because you know the sponsor baby thing or the sponsee. My sponsor was a guy named Johnny Harris, you know, and I lost him a while back, you know. But it's funny. It's like DJ's been there for like, you know, just all the time, you know, and it's I love this program. You know, I've loved it from the start. It's so funny. You know, I first got into this program in 1968. No, that's a lie. Sorry. I first got into this program in 1965, and no, sorry, first time I tried this program was actually 1963, and it was well. Actually, the first time I ever went to a meeting, it was 1959, and it was totally by accident. You know, I lived in a town called Pacoima, and it was like the murder capital of Los Angeles in the 50s. It was crazy, and we're cruising down Van Nuys Boulevard, about 20 of us, a whole carload, and we're like cruising down Van Nuys Boulevard, and we've seen all these cars parked out in front of this house. And it's a party, a bar, no, not a bar, not that neighborhood. But there's something going on, and the murder capital, and they didn't invite the murderers. It's stupid. You know? So we stopped and got the tools necessary to crash any kind of party, you know, and we got the bumper jacks, tire irons, piece of pipe. Most of us had pistols. I had 3 cases of beer, half a pint of whiskey, and I was already loaded on Red Devils. Those are gorilla pills, we used to call them, because you could be getting your ass kicked on the floor, and you'd be yelling, "Do you quit? Do you quit yet? Did I win?" And so we stopped and went you know, after we had all our tools, we went and kicked in the door. You have to like kick in the door and rush in, because you know if you knock and they'll lock the door, you know. And so we just kicked the door in, ran in. Everybody, there's about 20 of us, and we're standing in the middle of this foyer, and we're looking at a sign that said, "We care." There were about 45 people in there, right? And I always told my crew, stay in the group. They can't beat us. We got all the weapons. We'll kill them. But what you guys did, you did that divide and conquer, because when I said, "Let's go," you had them all in little groups of 4. We don't drink, and we don't use, why? And I'm holding all this booze, and this guy comes up and says, "Hey, why don't you join us?" "Shut up, what is this?" You know what I mean? And he says, "Danny, I've been sober 8 years." It's a stupid thing to say to a guy holding a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, half pint of whiskey. I said, "Well, get away from me. I ain't sharing no booze with you, fool." You know? And then he said something that even surprised me. That at the early age of 15, he said, "I haven't wanted a drink in 8 years." Huh? You know, because I was 15, and my mom would testify. She used to find open bottles of wine, and the whole refrigerator stank. You know, because if you leave wine in the refrigerator uncapped, the whole refrigerator stinks. And God damn it, don't leave these bottles. And so I said, "Let's get out of here. I'm trying to get out of here." This guy is like, you know, persistent. He says, "Danny, I haven't wanted a drink in 8 years." And this like softly, dude, Russian to me, why? Yeah. And because I always wanted to drink. You know, I was one of them teenagers, I guess, that if you said, hey, we're having a party, is it going to be booze? Because I wouldn't go to like a birthday party with mom and dad. And he says, I haven't wanted a drink in 8 years. And I says, well, get away from me. And I said, I'm out of here. I called my troops. He says, he whispered the curse of Alcoholics Anonymous. And you guys that are just here like messing around or the court, cover up your ears. Because this dickhead to a 15-year-old kid says, Danny, if you leave AA, you will die, go insane, or go to jail. Yeah, notice how quiet the room got. You're all screwed. That's it. Go out there, see what happens. Once you've touched down here, I don't care by mistake. I don't care if the court sent you. They're trying to tell you something. Okay, they're not doing just because they're pissed at you or we need more people. They're trying to tell you, hey, you got a family, take care of them, all that stuff. And so this guy said, get out of here, fool, and I left. 2 weeks later, come on out, we have the house surrounded. Oh, hell, That happened a lot in my life, okay? I had an uncle, God, my Uncle Gilbert, rest in peace. I loved him. He was an unbelievable guy. And he turned me on to grass. I was about 8 years old. And it wasn't his fault, him and two of his friends they were outside, and my grandmother, I was making too much noise inside, and she says, look, go out there with Beto, look at him. He's reading the Bible. And he was actually, in Mexican neighborhoods, people used to walk around and sell these great big red Bibles with gold leaf. You know what I mean? They're beautiful. There's only like $39.95 for 4 years. A month, it's like crazy. And so I actually went out there, and the first thing I heard was, "Whoa! Somebody sure didn't like him." He was like, "Hey, see this beautiful picture, that beautiful picture, and it's the gold leaf and beautiful." And like this, Gilbert said, "Get out of here!" Said, "No, Grandma said I had to be here." And somebody said, "Let's get him loaded." I remember that like today, and it was funny because now these days they got those kind of roly papers that they're really cute. They're nice. In the 50s. You're like that, Shut up. I couldn't do it. So I got a bag, tore a hole in it, and Jimmy Barraza and my uncle started blowing smoke in it, and I got loaded. Boy, I was running through the house with spiders on my back and screaming. And I loved it. I'm sorry, I loved it. And it's like I would always go steal my uncle's weed, and they would buy keys, and because a kilo of weed, I think it was $79 in or something. It's crazy. But it was all homegrown. It wasn't like imported from anywhere. You had it in your backyard. And people would come over, and we'd just roll weed. We'd roll this whole thing, and it was so funny because you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and there were about 8 joints, but you get sharp when you're smoking weed. You get sharp because people would like, I was 9 years old. I'm rolling weed with these guys 15, 16, 17 years old, and they say, "Where did you learn how to weed?" Your mother showed me home. Want to hurry up? You get the gift of gab. You're just sharp, And so, I started, but let me tell you something about alcohol and drug addicts, okay? No different. I know that we separate ourselves, but this is the reality. My next door neighbor was a kid named Timmy Sanchez, all right? And I had a joint, and about 9.5 now, and he was 9, and I fired up this, Timmy! So I started getting loaded. Here, come here, let me show you how to do it. And he did it, and then all of a sudden, it's like he turned pale. I mean, it was like, started throwing up. He was in his house for like a day and a half in bed. And later on in life, I realized, oh, well, he's not an addict. Because I finished that joint, and it's like, I'm telling you, I hate to say this to you. I know some of you guys, especially with the court cards, I'm telling you, it's like, we're different, okay? We are afflicted with the disease of alcoholism, the drug addiction, and what that is, it's an allergy of the body coupled with an obsession of the mind, okay? Your body's allergic to it, but you go to hell to get it. All right, it's that simple. It's like kind of like, think about this. When you see those bottles in the liquor store, they're so pretty. They got them now. They're almost like you could just set it on the wall. It's gorgeous. And when you think about like getting poison oak and saying, I wonder if I'm allergic to this. You rub it on. Okay. That's the obsession of the mind. Do you understand? I see it, it's poison. Do you understand? Alcohol, to me, is poison. All right? Drugs, God, give me your money, shut up! And the drugs are stupid, you know what I mean? But alcohol, so my uncle changed at 12, when I turned 12, because when you're smoking weed, everybody was having a good time playing baseball, drinking beer. It was cool. It wasn't like bad. And then all of a sudden, the whole neighborhood changed. People started coming up to my uncle's window, right? And he would hand them a balloon. He became a balloon salesman. What the hell? 12 years old, I busted into the bathroom, and he was like this. And I closed the door, I said, give me some. Now understand, I didn't know what that was. I just know my hero and my buddy was doing something. And I knew it wasn't medicinal because I got in trouble that my grandfather was a diabetic, and I got in trouble for using his as a squirt gun. The only thing was the squirt gun is shoots to the side, you know what I mean? And so I got in a lot of trouble. So I knew if he had my grandfather, I said, "Give me some, or I'll tell Juanito," which is grandpa. And so I turned into a dope fiend immediately. I'll tell, and so. So he said, "Daddy boy, I can't give you this. I said, you better." And so now he was like this at first, right? And then boom, he hit that vein, and it was like his whole demeanor changed. You want to get loaded? Oh my God, give it! And boom, he hit me. I died. Okay. The next thing I knew, after he gave me that drop, all right, and I was outside soaking wet because he had thrown me in the shower, and it was the unbelievable euphoric feeling. Never in my life. I didn't care about my dad, what he said. I didn't care about my mom. I didn't care about my grades. I didn't care about anything. Just the sound of the ice cream truck. clink, clink, clink. That, and we got ice. We got 2 ice creams, big sticks. I really like it was yesterday. I gave him. Then I had one. Now we had 3 dogs: Bazoo, Butch, and Prince, and the big dogs, right? And I got my ice cream. And dogs, yeah! So I don't think I got any of that ice cream. But now you understand. I bitten I bit the apple. Do you understand? And it's like me and a kid named Frankie Mangaro. He used to be like, I think he was 15. I was 12, 13. He used to go up to a connections house and go, "Hey, Chewy, you got any heroin?" Believe me, in the 50s, that's the last thing a heroin dealer wants to hear. I'm a 15-year-old, "Shut up here, here's a balloon, get out of here." And we leave. But that became hard, and then I was about 13 and a half, and I was headed to Pacoima Junior High School. Now, Pacoima Junior High School always used to fight with San Fernando, and it seemed like the guys from San Fernando were bigger. You know, on different tortillas, right? And we would stand on the A9 court, and I was a B7, so I wasn't supposed to be on that court, right? And we'd be looking at each other, and you know, your mind is, "Damn, that guy's big. Boy, I hope you don't choose me." But you're trying to look tough, and you're scared, and you know you're scared. But now let me tell you something. One day, on the way to Pacoima Junior High School, we hit Dale's Market. Dale's Market had a door here and a door here, and the wine was on this aisle, facing out. So all you had to do was run in this door, grab 2 bottles, and run out that door. And you just go into the alley. And so we did. We had 2 bottles of port, Tokay. And wine, I'm going to tell you right now, wine was the magic elixir for me. I was about 4'9" or 4'10", right? And some of these guys in San Fernando were big, but you get that wine and you, it goes back down, and I mean, and once it goes back down, it's like, whoa. Your arms get bigger. They do. It's like, you get taller, you get better looking, you know, and you can stand on the A9. It's different. It's completely stand on the A9 court and look at the guys from San Fernando. "Hey, yeah, big guy. If you're looking for your mother, she's back there. I'm done with her, Holmes. Go pick her up." I swear to God, that was my line. And see, that's a crazy guy's line. And tough guys, I ain't scared of any tough guy. But crazy people, you don't want to mess with. I'm sorry, crazy people bite you. Okay? Yeah, really, and crazy people throw shit at your houses. They're nuts. And so I realized that the more I could be aggressive, the more people would, "Oh, wait, he's nuts. How about I kill your baby sister, Bulk?" You know, what are you talking? You say stuff that's just like crazy that he knows, I'm going to have to kill him and just stay away. You know? And then if you get in a fight and you like bite somebody, especially like, just rip, it's like, nobody in that junior high will mess with you again. I swear to my mother. I swear to God. Guy walking around with stitches like this, and he said, "Whoa, I don't, he'll try to eat you. Leave him alone." Man. I went through junior high, through high school. Oh, I had 5 high schools. I went to North Hollywood, Van Nuys, Polytechnic, Monroe, and back to Polytechnic. I did Poly twice. And then I went to the Penn. It's that simple, because you graduate. And it's funny, every teacher I ever had said, Danny, you have a lot of potential. But Mrs. Finley, I swear to God, 4th grade, Danny, you have a lot of potential, but you gotta stay still. You know, how? I'd say, anyway, Mr. Billingsley, God, same thing, the boys' vice principal in Pacoima. Danny, you've got so much potential, but you've got to stop fighting. You know, Mr. Taylor, Polytechnic, same thing. You had a lot of potential, but you beat the hell out of that kid. You know, and in 1968, while in state prison, I went to the joint in 1965 for. I sold a federal agent an ounce of pure sugar. 4 ounces, you know, but they only brought one to court, you know. I mean, we sold them 4 ounces because it burned, and the feds don't have a statute of bunco sales. Do you understand? It has to be a grand theft. But since I already had 2 drug beefs, if they give me another drug beef, then I get life sentence, 3 of them, you know. And so I'm fighting it, and me and a kid named Dennis, we beat it twice, you know. I beat it twice, and then I used to see Dennis in the chow line in the county every day, you know what I mean. And then one day I didn't see him, and I thought, God, I hope he bailed out. And then the next day I didn't see him, and then when I went to court, I seen him standing with the 2 federal agents. And he came to me and said, Danny, if we plead guilty to a sale in loot of narcotics, that almost sounds like a diaper, doesn't it? Sale of loot of narcotics. And he says, they'll only give you 6 months, and they'll give me 90 days. I said, bitch, I got a parole hold, you understand? I'm gone if I plead guilty to anything, but I can plead to a sale in loot because it's not a narcotics beef. It's like I don't know what you call it, something else. It's a grand theft or something. But so I pled guilty, and then I promised to kill him, and you know, naturally, I went to the pen, and I didn't do well in the pen. You know, I had forever to do. I had 10 years, and it was like just do what you can get away with. You know, use drugs, use alcohol, Pruno. How many people here have drank Pruno? Just raise it. Okay, well, all of you are serious fucking alcoholics, okay? You guys that don't leave, you know, there is no other program for you. Oh yeah, hold it, let's figure out how to hold it down. I mean, we had some of the worst, we drank stuff that was still cooking. You know, with the yeast is still part of that. And so it's like, I'm an alcoholic through and through. Do you understand? And the way when I was on the streets, I'd be shooting dope. How do you kick dope? With booze, and you stay drunk for 3-4 weeks, and then, oh God, I get my feet back, and then you go get some dope, and then same thing. So it was the dual, they called it a dual addiction. You know what I mean? And twice pipes, and now you have to understand, I knew about Alcoholics Anonymous since I was 15 years old. And then when I went to one joint in 1961, I go there, and this friend of mine, a guy named Frank Russo, and I say that because he told me never to mention his name. He was there, all right? He was there, and he comes up and he goes, Dan, you know what? You got to come to these meetings. And I said, what meetings? He says, hey, they give you coffee and cake. But I'm a journeyman convict, okay? I got coffee and cake. Do you understand? And then he says, yeah, but you know what? Hey, you can get tailor-mades, which are real cigarettes. I got a locker full of real cigarettes. What are you talking about? People pay me real cigarettes. And then he says, yeah, but girls come up. What? Real girls? You know, no, no, I'm sorry, but in the joint they'll sneak in some pretendies. And it was, yeah, real girls. I go to this meeting, and they were gorgeous. And I'm listening to them talk, and I'm thinking of it, and I'm looking at them naked, and God, oh my. And then the meeting was over, and I took two of them back to the cell with me, and oh, some of you got that. Anyway, I'm like, wow, you know. Then the following week, you go to the meeting? I go, no, I ain't going to the meeting. He said, girls? No. He said, screw you. But, see, they have this thing that you sign up. You have to sign up. I want to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. You can't say to see the girls. You understand? You got to say to deal with my alcohol problem. You have to write it. And so that goes in your jacket. Okay, now your jacket follows you to death, all right? To death. Every institution you go to from then on, they look, oh, you went to Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay, well, you have to go to meetings. They also automatically have to go to meetings, right? And so anyway, they crack my door open, and I lean out, and hey, I don't want to go, I don't feel good. So I close the door. And when you close your door, your bar that says, it goes up. Now, prison guards, with all their intelligence, their college degree, their brilliant, you know, Einstein theory, that bar goes up, that does not compute, because they're the ones that put the bar up. You just come out, you don't close, and he can talk to you. He says, bitch, get your ass out! And it opens. And you lean out, and then they got this thing they call the goon squad. You know, they make you wish to go. Let's go, Trejo, and go to the meeting. I go out there, and I meet a guy named Johnny Harris, right? And in 1962, and everybody in this room is wrinkled, you know. They got penitentiary clothes. But if you're a journeyman convict, your clothes are pressed. They're starched. You got creases. And I came in with this creased jacket, creased T-shirt, creased boxer shorts, and creased starched pants. And I'll never forget Harris's. He said, "Damn." Only thing that's going to beat you to San Quentin are the headlights on the bus. And I says, really? I thought it was a compliment. And we start talking, right? And he says, I'm going to be your sponsor home. Okay, cool. I seen Johnny Harris in 4 different penitentiaries. I was the inside guy. He was the outside guy. He would come into the joint and see, because I had to go to those meetings, because once you sign the paper, you're there. So through my whole career in the joint, I went to meetings. I paid people to go, everything, right? Yeah. Pack of cigarettes, go sign for me. You know? In 1968, while in prison, Cinco de Mayo, 1968, which is the Mexican holiday, and people think that it's Mexican independence. It's not. Cinco de Mayo is we won a battle of Puebla, a little town of by 80. The Mexicans won, okay? And so they naturally had a holiday. Now, Cinco de Mayo, you have to get stabbed by your wife, beat up your neighbor, shoot a gun, crash a car, shoot somebody. It's a thing, you know, it's a thing. And Cinco de Mayo, every Mexican in this penitentiary in Soledad is drunk. All right, I mean stinky drunk, and they bring an outside baseball team in. These are all nice white college kids, you know, and you're stupid, all right? And they're coming in and chewing gum. They don't allow gum in prison, all right? Ray Pacheco, rest in peace, Ray. He was in Tascadero, which is the prison for criminally insane. He killed his girlfriend and killed her boyfriend, and they've been broke up about a year and a half, but. You're with a Mexican, you better watch out. I'm sorry, you know, we're jealous. And so he caught them together. Well, they were, you know, been a couple for 9 months, and he shot them both. But he went to Tascadero, which is the mental hospital, which is only a 7-year top. You know what I mean? And then they got to figure out what to do with you. So they said it was Soledad for 2 years. And we were in Soledad, and he was watching this guy play golf, and he's got it nuts. He had a lot of shock treatments, so I used to like to go behind him and go, hey, shut up! And so we're watching this guy on third base, big, beautiful white boy, right? One of those guys with a wallet that thick of just paper. I don't know. Nobody got that much money. And Ray said, God, I wish I had some gum. And I just had to, hey, don't talk to that dude. He knows karate. He'll slap you silly. Wrong thing to say to a nut. I'm sorry, you know. I went to the bathroom, and somebody comes running in. Hey, get your partner. He's going crazy. I come running out of the bathroom, and he's got that boy down, bam, bam, socking him, and that's a free person, all right? Henry Quijada, who just passed away, man, rest in peace, he just passed away, ruptured the coat, kicked the coat, Strawmeyer, I forget his name, ruptured it. And it was alleged that I threw a rock and hit Lieutenant Gibbons. And those are 3 gas chamber offenses. And we went to the hole, but we're drunk. And I didn't realize I was even in the hole till May 6th. Yeah. And I said, what are we doing here? And Henry yelled out, hey, Danny, they're going to top us. Top. What? And all the 3 of us had gas chamber offenses. And I remember, I've learned how to pray in AA. God, if you're there, it's going to be okay. If you're not, I'm screwed. Yeah, that was my first prayer. My next one, if you let me die with dignity, I will say your name every day, and I'll do whatever I can for my fellow inmate. I said inmate, because I knew this was the way of coming out. And that was May 6th, 1968. July of 1969, I went to the parole board. And I'll never forget the parole agent, Mad Dog Madden. That's the name his mother gave him, right? He says, Trejo, we're getting sick of you. And I said, well, that's a pleasant way to start a conversation between gentlemen. And he says, we're kicking your ass out of here and bring us back a life sentence. I swear to God. Because with a 10 top, you got to go to board every year. You got to go to board. And they just didn't want to do it no more. They just said, bring us back a life sentence. Because they knew, you know, I've never been able to stay out of jail, prison, wherever. And I remember like going back to my cell and thinking, what is going on? And I remember what Johnny Harris, give yourself a break and join us. You know, and you understand, I knew all about AA. I've been going to meetings in every penitentiary in the state of California. And then I'd send people to go too, and tell me what they said. And 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 I made a promise, I'll go. And I went home. Now understand, my homecoming wasn't that good. You know, my mom and dad were I'm surprised they didn't move and not tell me. But I was paroled to an Alcoholics Anonymous house in the valley, but a dope fiend had fixed in the bathroom like 3 days before I got out of prison, and he died. So they said no more dope fiends, no more, you know. And I was on a drug bee, so they canceled. But I'm already out. I went up there and showed up and said, no, we're not taking him. I had to go to my mom's and knock on the door. My dad knocked on the door, and my mom opened it. I'll never forget this. Ay, mijo. Oh, God, it's so good to see you. Oh, God, thank you, God. But she didn't unlock the screen. Don't laugh. That's not funny. I swear to my mother, she didn't unlock the screen. The screen was still locked. I said, Mom, my parole plans fell through, and can I stay here a couple of days? She turned to my dad, and my dad was sitting right there watching television. I said, Danny's parole plans fell through. Can he stay here a couple of days? Without looking up from the television, my dad said, yeah, tell him yes. And I walked into my house. I went into my bedroom where I was when I was 13 years old, you know, and I sat there and I'm thinking, man, what is going on? I got these guys that talk to me. Oh, Cookie, you were at Mommy's. You big ass tough convict, you're at Mommy's. Ooh, you're a killer. And my dad didn't acknowledge nothing, right? And I took off my shirt. My dad hated tattoos, right? He hated them. He hated tattoos. Only Mexican I know that don't have a tattoo. I swear to God. And I took off my shirt and I went and sat in front of him, right in the footstool, ottoman or whatever it is. I said, "Hi, Dad!" Like that. Just then, my mom comes in and says, "Mijo, you want some cookies and milk?" I'm the baddest guy in the world. You're gonna give me cookies and milk? I ran to the phone. I called Frank Russo, and he says, "I've been waiting for your call. I knew shit was gonna hit the fan." You know? He picked me up. We went to a meeting. We went to a meeting called the Allen Nest. Okay, the Allen Nest, I guess, is predominantly Caucasian. All right, predominantly cowboy. You know? Everybody, if you don't wear a cowboy hat and boots, you're like an outcast, right? I come in with starched pants, nice crease, nice shirt with a pleat, hair slicked back, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I killed everybody that got to this. I don't know. I know some of you murdered me, but you kill him. Oh, we'd rape him in the prison. Oh, I hate him. Yeah, everybody that talked, and then it was funny because they like at the end of the meeting and everybody. It's not good to make sudden movements around somebody that just got out of prison. Okay, and everybody stood up. I yelled, "Hey!" And I didn't. Little girl, somebody pulled my arm and I look at beautiful little girl, right? I hope she was 18. Anyway, give me your hand. I said, for what? Said, the prayer. I didn't even hug my mom. And this is the first woman I've touched in 5 years. Okay. Thank you. And then somebody else pulls it. Look, the cute little dude. Frank says, I told you it would get better. He said, after you want to take him to coffee? I said, which one? I'm sorry. The girl, okay. And we got a girl, we both went to coffee. We went to like 5 different coffee shops, just going out, talking and just And I can remember I was in Reseda Park and I was trying to pee on this duck. And I'm sorry, that's what I was doing. And I'm trying to piss on this duck. And I look at beautiful sun, man. You know what I mean? August 24th, beautiful stars. And I said, God, I know you're there now. And you know what? I'm going to do everything I can to stay here. And I did. I've been clean this over 57 years. So I buried a whole lot of people that, like, you know, that didn't want me around. Fuck you guys. I had no resentments. I got no resentments today. Do you understand? And I was hateful. Could you understand? I come out of prison. That means, what are you looking at? Your mom? She's back there. You know, I'm just, wow, just like immediately, bang. And at first I didn't get along good at all in Alcoholics Anonymous because sometimes if the speaker said, and some of us will make it, and if I was sitting there, that guy was in trouble. You know, I'd say, hey, what are you talking to me? But for the grace of God, let me tell you something. All you got to do, they make such a big deal. Where's the steps? I can't, God can't, so I'll let him. That's 1, 2, and 3. And I know everybody says, well, that's not the long version. Well, here for the long one. You know what I mean? I can't, God can, so I'll let him. You know, that's 1, 2, and 3. Now I got to sit down with a pencil and write. Okay, yeah, there it is. And then I show it to myself, there it is. You understand, this program is so simple, but alcoholics are so difficult. Oh my God. You know, do you understand? But we can dent a ball bearing. Okay, some of you know what that is, you know what I mean? But it's a little steel ball. We'll bend it. If you're new, go to a lot of meetings. Listen to anybody with any kind of time because you ain't got none. Do you understand? And they've been here a little while. You know, I never picked and choose. People would come up and talk to me. Oh, okay, I'll write that down. I don't care. If you're new, just go to a lot of meetings. That's all. I got 57 years clean. I bet you I go to more meetings than most people in this room, and not just to talk. Do you understand? I love going to meetings and looking at the girls. Sorry, you know. Oh, hi. You know what? I love you, and I love being clean, and I love being sober. God bless you. Thank you so much.